What are the key things you should look for in your reserve study so that it serves as an effective roadmap to the future? How often should it be updated or refreshed? What does success actually look like, and will you know it along the way? These are all good questions that we answer in this summary portion of the webinar. The bottom line is that with our webinars, online videos, a helpful book on the subject, and, of course, our reserve study services, we're here to help you any way we can so you can enjoy a smooth and successful journey to the future. Let me spend a few minutes now here wrapping up our program for today. What's a nice checklist to look for? Okay, let me show you here on screen. Look for the year that the reserve study was prepared for, because as we tried to make clear, they quickly get out of date. Know the type of reserve study. Now you know there's three types: the full, the with site visit update, and the no site visit update. And then look for three things in that reserve study: the component list to see your reserve projects. Number 2 is an evaluation of reserve fund strength, which is best measured by percent funded. And number 3 is the multi-year recommended funding plan, how much to actually be setting aside. And after you've received the reserve study, what do you do then? What do you distribute? Well, we recommend distributing the executive summary to all owners. It's a short page or two, and then leave the complete reserve study for those that specifically request it. And then, what does success look like? We suggest you measure success by lack of disruptive special assessments, by projects getting done on time, by the percent funded at your association being 70% or higher, by reserves being spent only on reserve projects, and no borrowing from reserves to pay for operating fund projects because you never budgeted enough on the operating side of the equation there. And then updates. Remember that if your reserve study is more than 3 years old, it's likely not giving you good advice anymore. You've probably changed so many things from the original plan. Property conditions, project costs, projects that you did or didn't do, the reserve balance, interest and inflation. So you don't want to be following an outdated map to the future. And want to leave you with a little pro tip, because your reserve study information is always in a constant state of change. We measure here at Association Reserves that there are 30% fewer special assessments among our clients that update their reserve study annually. And remember, those no site visit updates are really pretty inexpensive. Having fresh information makes a lot of difference. And that brings us to the end of our planned content today. Coley and I want to thank you for joining us, for tolerating a little bit more back and forth than we expected. I guess that makes this a custom program here today. We want to help you make wise reserve funding and spending decisions on your journey to the future. Coley said it many times. Don't think of your reserve study as just something that you get. Think of your reserve study provider as someone who's on your team. If you have a question, reach out. If you are interested in being notified of upcoming programs like this one, just scroll to the bottom of our homepage, or actually any page on our website. And if you wish Association Reserves to support your association with a reserve study, click a link at the top of our homepage to request a free reserve study proposal. And Coley gave you kind of a tip on that. If you search anywhere on YouTube for reserve study videos, you'll likely find plenty of ours. And if what you see is helpful to you, consider giving the video a like and subscribing to our channel so you'll be notified of all the new content that we provide. Or if you're a reader or want a great written resource that summarizes all the major reserve study concepts that we've addressed today, consider ordering our book, Understanding Reserves. I'll put a link in the outline to where you can download Chapter 1 for free. And if you like what you see, get a copy by ordering straight from Amazon. It's inexpensive. It's a paperback. And I've got a copy right here on my desk that I'm holding that I'll sign and hand out to someone who asks an interesting question during our upcoming Q&A time. And I want to point out that perhaps one of the best resources we have is our online reserve calculator called UPlanet. If you want to work with the pros and cons of different variations to your reserve expenses or your reserve funding plan, or perhaps you're getting ready for a budget meeting and you want to test a few different scenarios. UPlanet allows you to test different funding plans and expense scenarios. It allows you to test and see if you like what happens, make those informed adjustments to your budget plan, and prepare for questions from your homeowners. What happens if we do this? Or what happens if we don't do that? And again, it's free with every professional reserve study from Association Reserves. And speaking of free, here's a great resource for our board member audience, a weekly 30-minute podcast just for you. It's called HOA Insights, Common Sense for Common Areas. You can get there at hoainsights.org or anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Share it with your homeowners so they begin to think and engage like board members, feeling like it's their association too, and to start thinking how they can help take good care of the place. All these different questions. How do we understand what's going on with the board? Can we plug in and lead? Board members all across the country are carrying this entire community association industry of ours on their shoulders. And this podcast is there to help the board members carry that heavy load. It's full of guest experts, current issues, and once a month, we actually feature a board hero. So join us weekly at hoainsights.org or subscribing from your favorite podcast platform. And with that, I'll turn the microphone over to Kali, who will coordinate our Q&A time together. At Association Reserves, we make the present less stressful and the future more secure. If you want to join us in this mission, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see us address in a future video. Let's plan for your best future.